I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. Najib Abdul Razak is seeking to strengthen his application for a royal pardon and has now included the dissenting judgment from his SRC review case in the application. The dissenting ruling by Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak Abdul Rahman Sebli in former Premier Najib Abdul Razak's failed SRC review application will be used to strengthen his application for a royal pardon. This is according to Najib's lawyer Muhammad Shafee Abdullah. Met at the Kuala Lumpur Courts Complex today, the senior lawyer said Rahman's dissenting ruling opened a new avenue for his client and it has been included in the application for a royal pardon. He said the pardon application is exactly what Rahman said in the judgment, which is that Najib did not get a fair trial. The Apex Court last Friday dismissed the Najib's bid to review his conviction, 12-year prison sentence and 210 million ringgit fine in the 42 million ringgit SRC International corruption case. Rahman made up the sole dissenting ruling to allow the review. While Rahman ruled that he was inclined to grant Najib an acquittal, the other members of the bench disagreed, resulting in a 4-1 majority verdict to dismiss the former Premier's review bid. The other members of the bench were Federal Court Judges Vernon Ong Lam Kiat, Rodzaria Bujang and Nordin Hassan, as well as Court of Appeal Judge Abu Bakar Jais. Najib, who has served more than 6 months of his sentence in the Kajang prison, is also pursuing other avenues besides the royal pardon in relation to the SRC graft case, namely a petition before the United Nations. Still on Najib, the scheduled trial of the former Premier and Irwan Serigar Abdullah was postponed today due to new developments. This was on the case linked to the international petroleum investment company. The Attorney General sought an adjournment of the scheduled trial of Najib Abdul Razak and Muhammad Irwan Serigar Abdullah linked to the international petroleum investment company due to new developments. Deputy Public Prosecutor Muhammad Saifuddin Hashim Musaimi informed this to the Kuala Lumpur High Court today. The court was set to hear Najib and Irwan's full trial today. However, the prosecution told trial judge Muhammad Jamil Hussain that the AG is considering a letter of representation recently sent by Irwan, which cited new developments. Hashim said the prosecution seeks an adjournment to consider Irwan's letter of representation and sought the postponement of the trial so that prosecutors can go through it and decide whether to allow it or not. Jamil then vacated the trial today as well as other trial dates for this week and next month. He set May 29th for mention for prosecutors to update on whether the charges against both Najib and Irwan would be withdrawn. Meanwhile, Najib's lawyer Muhammad Shafee Abdullah said he had also sent a letter to the court to request for the trial this month and in May to be postponed. This was in view of a settlement between the Malaysian government and IPIC. The present case against Najib and Irwan mainly revolved around 1MDB's dealings with IPIC, particularly a 2017 settlement between the two parties in which 1MDB paid US $1.2 billion to the Abu Dhabi state-owned company. This was after IPIC backed out from its 2015 deal to bail out 1MDB, which at the time struggled to pay a bank loan. 1MDB is fully owned by the Minister of Finance Incorporated. Najib was the then finance minister while Irwan used to serve under him in the ministry. Najib's daughter has shone a spotlight on a purported letter from the MACC which allegedly found Judge Muhammad Nazlan in breach of the Judges' Code of Ethics. Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak's daughter has shared an article on an alleged letter from the MACC which allegedly found Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali in breach of the Judges' Code of Ethics. This comes 2 days after Najib's judicial review bid in the SRC International case was rejected. Nazlan was the trial judge who found Najib guilty in the case involving the former 1MDB subsidiary. The purported letter from MACC Chief Azam Baki to Chief Justice Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat on the MACC's findings had gone viral on social media over the weekend. Yesterday, Nuriana Najwa shared the letter on her Instagram. However, she did not appear to make any personal comments on the matter. Instead, she had pasted the news portal Malaysia Gazette's report on the leaked letter. Malaysia Kini has contacted Azam to verify the letter's legitimacy. The letter was dated February 20th, which was 4 days before a bench led by Tengku Maimun ruled that the MACC's probe on Nazlan had not followed protocol by not informing the Chief Justice beforehand. Tengku Maimun, in her ruling, said while the Federal Constitution empowers criminal investigation agencies such as MACC to investigate sitting judges as well as allow the public prosecutor to institute criminal court proceedings against such judges, those powers must be exercised in good faith and genuine cases. She added that the bench also observed the curious timing of the publicizing of the probe done before Najib's SRC appeal before the apex court last year. Nazlan, when he was a High Court judge in 2020, sentenced Najib to 12 years in prison and a fine of 210 million ringgit for corruption, abuse of power, and money laundering. A motion to debate the Employees Provident Fund withdrawal was rejected today, leading to Perikatan Nasional MPs staging a walkout from the Dewan Rakyat. Perikatan Nasional MPs staged a walkout from the Dewan Rakyat today. This came after their proposal to debate the Employees Provident Fund withdrawal was rejected by the Speaker. During proceedings this morning, Machang MP Wan Ahmad Faisal Wan Ahmad Kamal had requested a debate on allowing another round of EPF withdrawal. This was despite his motion being rejected by Speaker Johari Abdul in writing. Deputy Dewan Rakyat Speaker Alice Lau then replied that the standing orders state that the Speaker's decision is final and as such, she cannot overrule it. She added that they should file another motion on it if they were unhappy with the decision. This prompted a wave of protests from PN lawmakers who said the matter of EPF withdrawals is of urgent public interest.
Sudah ramai daripada kalangan rakyat yang mahukan perkara ini dibawa dan dibahaskan dalam parlimen. Sehingga sanggup, ada yang sanggup berjalan kaki daripada Johor ke istana sehingga sampai hari ini. Apakah kerajaan tak sedar lagi bahawa rakyat di bawah sana menunggu-nunggu akan keputusan yang akan kita buatkan pada hari ini yang tertua? Sebab itu kami mahu supaya ianya dibenarkan untuk kita membahaskan isu ini.
Despite that, Lau did not budge, repeating that she cannot overrule the Speaker's decision. Seeing her refusal to allow the debate on EPF withdrawals, PN lawmakers then decided to leave Dewan Rakyat and held a press conference in the Parliament lobby before returning to the Dewan Rakyat 30 minutes later. In a press conference, Kota Baru MP Taqiyuddin Hassan explained that Wan Faisal's motion was to refer Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to the Parliamentary Rights and Privileges Committee. This was for allegedly misleading the August House by announcing that EPF members can use their savings as collateral for bank loans when Section 51 of the EPF Act does not allow it. He also questioned the Speaker's decision to reject the motion as it fulfilled all three criteria under Standing Order 18-1, which is that the matter raised is definite, of public importance and urgent. Meanwhile, on PN's next course of action, Taqiyuddin said the opposition will inform the public of the government's policy that is against the law.
Akta KWSP itu sendiri tak membenarkan. Jadi dia buat. Itu yang kita nak minta penjelasan. Siapa yang menasihatkan Yang Berhormat Menteri Keuangan ataupun dia tidak dinasihatkan ataupun wrongly advised. Sebagai Menteri Undang-Undang ke siapa ke kena ni. Ini perkara yang bukan main-main. Atas dasar itu, kita mungkin akan buat roadshow seluruh negara. Inilah dasar kerajaan madani yang ada sekarang ini.
A government MP has called on Anwar Ibrahim to intervene in the issue involving contract doctors. This came as a group dubbed Mogok Doktor Malaysia called on contract doctors to go on strike from Monday to Wednesday. Pasir Gudang MP Hassan Karim has called on Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to intervene on the contract doctors' decision to go on strike in the next 3 days. Hassan said while going on strike was a fundamental right, Anwar could calm down the doctors who are mad at the government. In a statement yesterday, he said the Prime Minister's intervention with assurances to solve their problems could avoid the strike from being launched tomorrow, which is feared could cripple operations at public hospitals. He said Anwar must hear their protests that there is discrimination and oppression towards contract doctors. He added that Anwar must also ensure that the Health Ministry does not take action against those going on strike. Hassan said this in response to a group dubbed Mogok Doktor Malaysia, which is calling on contract doctors to go on strike from Monday to Wednesday by taking medical leave, emergency leave, or by resigning together. The group's demands include that all contract doctors be given permanent positions, an increase in basic salary and on-call rates, and a resolution to staff shortages. They claim that over 8,000 doctors will take part in the strike. Previously, Anwar had assured that 1,500 would get permanent jobs this year. However, he said that resolving the woes of contract doctors may take up to 3 years. He said this is as if they were to give all 4,000 permanent placements as demanded. The government would need more than 10 billion ringgit a year, which is impossible.
Zahid Hamidi has hit out at the opposition and called on them to be rational in the political arena and not manipulate religion for personal gains.
Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi took a pot shot at the opposition yesterday, implying that they cannot change God's will by playing dirty. In a speech during a breaking of fast event organized by the Rural and Regional Development Ministry in Sabah, Kuala Lumpur yesterday, Zahid said politicians should not manipulate religion.
Berada di gelanggang politik, mesti berpolitik secara rasional, bukan menggunakan agama, bukan memanipulasikan fatwa-fatwa untuk kepentingan diri sendiri. Lihat apa yang berlaku. Ya, bahawa manipulasi yang dilakukan, tactical move yang dilakukan, dan juga apa juga yang telah terjadi menyebabkan Allah Ta'ala memberikan pengajaran kepada mereka, biarpun mungkin jumlah mereka lebih besar daripada jumlah yang kita perolehi. Hakikatnya yang kecil menjadi kerajaan, yang dapat kursi banyak berada di pihak pembangkang.
Zahid added that he did not want to name any party or individuals and just wanted to remind himself of it. He said UMNO has been oppressed and humiliated and all kinds of accusations were thrown at them. But due to their patience and perseverance, the truth has finally come to light. In the 15th general election last November, Perikatan Nasional, which comprises Bersatu and PAS, among others, had secured 74 seats, while UMNO and its allies in BN only managed to get 30. As no party or coalition had a clear majority, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Ahmad Shah then decreed for parties to form a unity government. This led to Harapan, which had 82 seats, forming the federal administration together with BN, Sarawak's GPS, and several other parties that won seats in GE15. PN had declined to join the unity government and said they would be in the opposition.
In the same press conference, Zahid also confirmed that members of political parties in the unity government will be given positions in the Malacca State Executive Council.
Members of political parties in the unity government will be included in the new Malacca State Executive Council lineup. This is according to UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. Zahid said the state exco list had been presented to him by the new Malacca Chief Minister Abdul Rauf Yusof, and he confirmed that it included members in the unity government at the central level. He said although BN won 21 of the 28 state seats contested in the last Malacca state election, due to the spirit of the unity government, the party intends to share the state exco lineup with other political parties in the government. Zahid added that the Malacca government is also likely to create deputy exco positions for some specific portfolios. He also hoped that Abdul Rauf could be given the opportunity to do his best and provide continuity to the previous state government administration. He also expressed confidence that Abdul Rauf will present the names of the EXCO lineup, which involves several changes in terms of portfolio and name, to the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri of Malacca Muhammad Ali Rustam in the near future.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.